Hello, cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And welcome to our new series called Now We Know, where we go back and watch old trailers and see what they tell us in the trailers and how they ruin the movies.
Or whatever.
Or not. And we are currently doing the Star Wars. We are doing them in release order. And so we started with Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope. And now we're on to Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
As we knew it then, when it came out in 1980, it was Empire Strikes Back. It wasn't 2. It wasn't Star Wars 2. It wasn't
Right.
Star Wars Episode 5 or whatever.
Right.
It was Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. And we just called it Empire.
Empire, yeah, yeah. Like in lexicon, if you talk to anyone and you say, it's the best sequel since Empire, or what's your, everybody knows what you're talking about, and that's this movie.
Yep.
And coming off the success of the first one of Star Wars, it was interesting to see where they're going to go, going forward and stuff like that. And that I'm interested to see how this. We just talked about with A New Hope. It was. They actually gave away a lot of stuff, but it was very misleading.
Yes.
About what they were talking about in that trailer.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how this
one is actually longer too, almost by twice.
Yeah. Yeah. So interested to see what we have here. So Empire Strikes Back, the trailer reaction. Now we know, and go.
Luke Skywalker and Han Solo rescued the princess, destroyed the Death Star, but their story didn't end there.
It didn't? Chewie, you were home?
Now, the creators of the biggest smash hit of all time bring you the next episode in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
Continuing story of our band of heroes: Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, C-3PO,
Me,
R2-D2, and Chewbacca. And introducing Lando Calrissian. It's an epic of romance. Of heroes and villains.
bad guy. Not nothing.
They cross trackless voids to unknown worlds.
Lobot, really?
A galactic odyssey against oppression.
Oppression.
A big, new, sprawling space adventure in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back.
Da-da-da-da. Because they...
Coming to your galaxy next summer.
Wow. They ended with, because the last scene in Star Wars in Episode 4 is Vader careening out of control and flying off into the unknown space after the Death Star gets blown up. So they leaned right into Vader's coming back at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, well, I mean, they showed Vader several times in the trailer. So, this is a super long trailer, so you know that they were really pushing, writing the coattails of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Because it did so well.
And they said coming next summer, and it wasn't until we got the new trilogy, the new sequel trilogy, that they started coming out in December. So it was May of 80 that came out. So this trailer came out summer of 79 to remind everybody. Or fall. Yeah. But it was enough to remind people to, hey, remember that awesome movie that we just had last, 2 years ago that you're still talking about and still recreating in the playground? Oh, by the way, we're doing it again. Yeah. And so they did it. Okay. can we talk about Harrison Ford's 1940s voiceover?
I don't think that was Harrison Ford.
I think it's Harrison Ford. I've watched this trailer a couple of times in the past, and
well, we can look it up. I think it was the movie guy. I think it was just the stock guy they get to do voiceovers for trailers.
But it's also very 40s, like news.
Well, yeah.
Newsy kind of feel to it.
Movies were still in that era. Nothing like movies didn't really change until the first Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
That was really a big change to movies and like
how they were marketed and how they were distributed.
Yeah, because they didn't even think about toys. So, and the changes like in the trailers and how they did them and the special effects and all that was really just starting to go. So this trailer being, it could be in the 50s, it could be in the 60s, it could be in the 70s. It makes total sense.
Right.
Because they were still all stuck in that time period.
Right.
That genre. They showed a whole lot of nothing. The first at least 30 seconds is the guy talking over the Star Wars logo.
This trailer would have been maybe a minute and a half if they didn't have the Star Wars symbol coming in towards you or fading out at the end or whatever while he talks about the romance and the different stuff.
And part of that too is probably, again, I mean, it said copyright 1979. They said coming next summer. It's at least 6 months out.
Right.
So, they still had a lot of post-production stuff to
I found it interesting too that the first one, the only couple of lines that are used from the actual movie, and we quote, it's the quotes that we were talking about in the last. But this one, there is no dialogue from the actual movie. It's all voiceover.
Right.
Now, there's a ton of practical effects in this movie, but there's also a bunch of special effects, and they seem to make a point of showing those. A lot more than the dialogue itself.
Right.
And I also like that in the first one they talked about the romance or a space romance or whatever, and there's not really any space romance, but this one they leaned into the romance and they
actually show you, because you said romance last time and there wasn't any romance.
So that I found that kind of interesting. The other thing that I know, because Star Wars nerd, is there is a deleted scene from this movie that's been making the rounds lately, and it is when they're on Hoth early on. So for those of you who aren't super Star Wars people, the snow planet, the stormtroopers get into the base, and there's actually even a line, and they're like, stormtroopers are in the base, or stormtroopers are in the base, whatever. So there's a scene where C-3PO is running down a hall trying to get away, and he comes around and there's a door there, and it's got the nuclear, don't open this door symbol, whatever thing on there. And he walks over and he rips it off and runs on.
Right.
And then the stormtroopers come in and they open the door, and then they get blasted with whatever that happens to be in there. So they show C-3PO ripping that off.
Yep.
That's not in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's like, wow. It's funny that they added that particular scene and then ended up taking it out of the movie. Now it's a comedy piece, and if you see the actual scene, at that point in time in the movie, you don't need a comedy scene. So I understand when they took it out. It was just this is one of the first times where I think the editing process of the movie happened after the trailer came out.
Again, at least 6 months before the movie came out. So they were still really working on it. I mean, I'm impressed they had as much in that trailer as they did, considering how far they had from release.
The Millennium Falcon getting chased by the TIE fighters in the asteroid field, that's interesting that's in there, because that's a ton of work, because all that's practical. It's practical models and stuff like that. They don't show any of the AT-ATs. They don't show Cloud City. They show Lando. They introduce Billy D. Williams. super smooth, even just with no lines, like looking over his shoulder, like what's going on over there, So it was just stuff like that. Like this trailer is really good, and like I talked about in the last one, I wasn't emotionally pulled in with that trailer.
Yeah.
This one, I am.
Yeah.
Now, maybe because I have more of an emotional connection with this movie, but this trailer overall just pulls me in. Other than the ridiculous voiceover that's going on.
I mean,
time.
it's also just the, going from the movie that they don't even know if it's gonna break even to, oh my God, we have a world beater on our hands. How do we follow that up?
Yeah.
So
all of that. So that is our thoughts on Empire. That's right. We talked about it. It's that movie. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. At this point in time, it was called The Empire Strikes Back. Let us know what you thought of the trailer, our reaction to it, and anything else that we're doing within the Star Wars realm. In the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and follow us on all the social media stuff. All those links are in the description down below. All right, on to the next one. All right, cult members, if we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.